If you will please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America.
Oh, thank you. Before we adopt the agenda, I always like to ask if it's agreeable to my council members, colleagues here, that we move the non-agenda public comment up before we go on to new business. And so if I can get a motion to do that, if you agree. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. And then the adoption of the agenda then.
So moved.
All in favor? Raise your right hand. Okay. Approval of the minutes. We have minutes from the special meeting of June 3rd, 2025, and a regular meeting minutes of June 16th, 2025. If I can get a motion for approval of this.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. And then if there's anyone here present today who has public comments that unrelated to the new business that we're going to discuss and would like to do that now, we will entertain that. Is there anyone? No. Okay.
I comment on Chet's shirt.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Have fun every now and then.
All right, then moving on to new business. We have a consideration of a resolution authorizing application to the South Carolina Arts Commission for a cultural district designation on Hilton Head Island. And Natalie Harvey, who is our Office of Cultural Affairs Director, will make that presentation for us. Welcome, Natalie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm going to just open up the memo that I sent to everyone, and thank you for considering this recommendation. I've attached a lot of information for your background about what a South Carolina Arts Commission Cultural District does, what it can offer for us, and what it can provide for us. What I'm bringing for you today is a consideration of a resolution to then go to council in August to give us permission to go ahead and seek this designation from the South Carolina Arts Commission. So for the background on this, this district program was begun in 2014 to support placemaking and promote local economies through the arts. And one of the characteristics that I think is really important is to note that it's a geographic area of a city or town with a concentration of cultural assets, cultural facilities, creative businesses, and placemaking. There are 11 of these cultural districts in South Carolina currently. I think that Hilton Head Island should join that list of the 11 to make it a dozen, and show our support for the arts and cultural organizations in this district, but also just in general, the importance of arts and culture to our island's residents as well as our visitors. Let's see if I can get this to move down. I have also attached for you a map that I will go over in a second, as well as a list of the preliminary inventory of cultural assets that we identified with several members of our Arts Council, as well as the staff member from the Arts Commission who was here a little bit more than a year ago to discuss this preliminarily with us. We have a large list of organizations performing arts venues, musical and festival spaces, public art and sculpture installations, as well as arts-related businesses within this proposed cultural district. If this moves forward from the committee today to council, then we would propose to have the South Carolina Arts Commission do a visit here in September to do an asset mapping workshop where we can do further community engagement with the residents, business owners, and cultural organizations involved in this region. If we do proceed with this, of course, we know Hilton Head is shaped by its natural beauty, rich cultural heritage. What this formal designation will do for us is to promote the island's visibility as a premier art and cultural destination, reinforce our longstanding support for arts and cultural development, and also align our strategic priorities relating to placemaking, tourism, economic development. Some of the benefits for this are the increased visibility and marketing on statewide platforms. Of course, the Arts Commission would list this in their promotions of the cultural districts around the state. At the current time, there is not a specific grant proposal available for South Carolina Arts Commission in connection with cultural districts, but it's my understanding that they are looking into doing that in the next fiscal year or following, that there would be specific grants that we could apply for. This would encourage greater collaboration between our local arts organizations, businesses, and civic institutions, and of course, support creative economic development through our programming and strategic planning. I believe this designation will strengthen Hilton Head Island's position as a leader in the arts and culture, drive local pride, and attach cultural tourists who seek authentic, community-based experiences. Basically, there is no fee to apply for this program with the state. We have several members of our Arts and Cultural Committee that have volunteered to help with some of the heavy lifting of this, as necessary, to do some of our documentation and help with the application. And then each year, the Office of Cultural Affairs would be responsible for reporting back to the South Carolina Arts Commission about the cultural district. So our next steps would be, if approved here, go to council in August, and then we would continue through the schedule that I provided with you in the attachments, which would allow for the planning and implementation, filling out the application, getting it to the Arts Commission in early spring, to then be considered at their meeting in April, and hopefully by this time next year, we will have a cultural district designation. This time, I'd love to answer any questions for you. You have the attachments. I don't need to go through all of those in detail unless you have specific questions about them. But I would like to just show, for those that are here, the boundaries that we are proposing. Of course, as I mentioned, it needs to be strollable. And so the pathway system that is around the Shelter Cove area really makes this a great opportunity for this. One of the discussions that we've had in our informal group with the Arts Council is that we would like to be able to highlight other areas of Hilton Head Island and its culture and its history through signage and placemaking activities there in Shelter Cove. So there's a good conversation, I think, amongst organizations about how to get people into our cultural district and then to explore those other sites around the island as we can. Are there questions about the map? All right, then I'd like to go on just
The areas shown in brown, sorry.
Yes, excuse me.
What specifically do they designate?
The area shown in brown is just from our GIS map showing structures, so that does not necessarily mean that each of these buildings is part of cultural activity. But I would like to go maybe to attachment 3, because that does give a list of some of the identified assets, and this is a very preliminary list. Of course, on the far side, to the left of the map there, would be the Arts Center and their performance venues. The Shelter Cove Harbor has live music 9 months out of the year, multiple times a week, in addition to restaurants offering live music. Then as you continue down through the district, you get into the Shelter Cove Town Center and the Shelter Cove Community Park, which is, of course, home to festivals, but also live concerts and free concerts for the community, very accessible. And then there are at least half a dozen sculpture installations along the trail along Broad Creek. In addition, the Poetry Trail that has 7 sites within this proposed district. And then there are also other businesses and connected organizations like the Nash Gallery, Artware, Hilton Head Art League Gallery, all the visual arts. There also do consider different festivals that are held within the cultural district area. Of course, the Art Center of Coastal Carolina has several well-known festivals. Then there's certainly the activities at Shelter Cove Community Park with the live music, our Crescendo kickoff in October, and the Hilton Head Art Festival in May. And they do have a pretty significant list of potential things that can be included. And I found one that was pretty interesting: artistic play spaces. And so playgrounds that have a little bit more creativity to it could be considered. Of course, live music. The Hilton Head Senior Center is within this district and has a lot of activities for the public that would be included, and our Veterans Memorial Park. So,
If I may just add one more.
yes, please.
Its location provides the natural beauty. We all know that walk along that pathway is phenomenal between the sunsets and everything that you get to enjoy. So adding that in, it seems like a complete package.
Absolutely. And then just lastly, for the group, we have started building this preliminary list. As I mentioned, we didn't want to get too far ahead without consideration from the committee and council. So we certainly can discover some other opportunities to include on that list. The next step really is to identify some potential steering committee members that can help us do some of the legwork on this. Those would need to be submitted to the Arts Commission, and a lot of the members of the Arts Council have volunteered their time, and then there are some others that live in the community inside the district, as well as business owners that we would be contacting. We do have a visit planned on July 30th. It happened that the Arts Commission staff member was going to be in Beaufort County, and that is a great opportunity for me to show her around the district. And she is relatively new in this position. She's been there just about a year. So I'd like to introduce her not only to our district, but to Hilton Head Island's offerings in general. And then August 19th, if passed through this committee, we present to the full council, and then begin to work on the application over the fall. And as I mentioned, then in January and February, what we would need to do is schedule the Arts Commission to have their board and their Cultural District Review Committee visit Hilton Head Island, and then complete the application for consideration in the spring. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
Questions from our committee? Steve?
A very impressive presentation. You obviously put an awful lot of work into this. There's a lot of information, a lot of details. And certainly it looks like it's a very desirable objective for the town to pursue. You mentioned it earlier that there are 11 other districts. Were you in touch with any of them in the course of putting this together?
Yes, I have, not specifically about this application, but I have met several of the more recent designees at conferences and networking events. And so I'm also familiar, Bluffton had a district at one time. They are in the process of reapplying. They had let theirs lapse for a short time. And so I'm familiar with some of the ways that they help to map and market their areas. I think, speaking from Hilton Head Island, I think we're well positioned in all of the things that we do to already promote our arts and culture. And so I think we're kind of ahead of where many of these other organizations might be.
You said they let it lapse, so you have to renew this?
Each year you have to send in an annual report. Oh. And so it is not a very detailed report, but it does need to be submitted each year. There is every 5 years, a recertification by the Arts Commission to come back into your town and make sure that you're actually keeping up with what you promised to do.
I think it's terrific, and plus it make my good friend, Miss Joseph, happy.
That's our basic objective.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's important. Yes, I did bring a few visitors with me here today that have been very enthusiastically supporting this idea for several years.
Do we have a resolution that was prepared? Have that. So if you want to either share it or read it. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Oh, that's good. Second to that.
I'll second.
And before we take the vote, is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment on this item? Yes, ma'am.
Morning, I'm Jane Joseph, and yes, this will make me very happy if we get through this.
And we're friends, right?
Yes, I just, in case you all don't know, this project actually got on our books in 2015, when the town council voted to have an Office of Cultural Affairs with one of the primary responsibilities being to get this cultural district. And we were only stymied by the geographic strollable issue that we could not get them passed. We actually wanted the whole island to be a cultural district, but they said, no, 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 we couldn't do that. So we have been working on it, and fortunately, Shelter Cove, between the arts organizations and the business community, has developed into a wonderful area that is just perfect, and I can't wait to see it happen. So thank you very much for supporting it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Sure.
Ario and Cravaya, Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra Chief Operating Officer. Good morning, everyone. President and CEO Alan Jordan was planning to be here, but it was a last-minute cancellation, so he sends his regrets. Sorry that he couldn't be here, but he'll be made abreast of all the activity, and he'll stay in touch as well. First, I'd like to commend Natalie. In her role, she has been a tremendous ambassador for our island. She's been a tremendous ambassador for the arts locally and at the state level. And her leadership has been invigorating and has really brought our arts community together. So, Natalie, thank you for that. And then secondly, we appreciate as an arts community what the government sector does for us, because we do have private donors, we do have corporate donors, and we receive foundation grants and all of that, but everything that we do to thrive as a community requires governmental support as well. So we appreciate everything that you do, and we hope that you support this going forward. Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to make a comment this morning? Seeing none, bring it back. Are there any additional comments from? So mine is simply that, yes, there aren't a lot of places where the government and the public sector, private sector work together so well. And this is one in our community, in particular, Hilton Head, is one of the things that makes it special is our cultural and our arts. People do come here, and on a regular basis, this is what they come to enjoy. So I want to thank you for the offerings that you continue to provide. It is of a high level. People are impressed, and it's one of the things, as I said, that makes Hilton Head special. I also wanted to take a moment to thank Natalie as well for her hard work. And I remember sitting in on those venue meetings so long ago, and all of the work that the Art Council was, or the folks putting together the concepts that here 10 years later are starting to come to fruition. So good work by all. Good things sometimes take a little bit of time. And while I'm talking and saying nice things about people, I want to make sure that one of the comments I had planned to make is that to all the staff who works really so hard around here to pull not only this, but everything together. It's a daily effort and lots of work, and we appreciate it all. And so with that, I'm going to call the question, and all in favor, please raise your right hand. Yeah, it's approved. All right, and so we really don't have anything else on our agenda today. But one of the things that I want to, as the Community Service and Public Safety Chair, comment on and let the public know that is on my top list of priorities and focus is a continuing receipt of comments about some of the not so many nice things that are happening on our island. And that to let folks know who are concerned about those conditions, that I am focused on it, and I will be pulling together a group of people to specifically address what we can and bring forward ideas to make the island safer, more family-friendly, and I hope that we get this done pretty quickly. It's distressing to get the emails that I get. So, thank you all for coming, and with that, we're adjourned. Pretty quick. I told you.